And this is exactly what I say, to the women that want to take up positions, to say you need the men, because the men need to understand that you are able to deliver. And once you present that and they believe that you can do it, the men will always support women that are willing to take up leadership positions.
Welcome, chess lovers. This is episode 4 of the FIDE Chess Podcast, presented by the FIDE Women's Commission. 2022 is the year of women in chess, and that is why we are presenting female personalities from around the world. My name is Michael Busse. I am the host of the German chess podcast Schachgeflüster. Together with FIDE and the Chessboards Association, we produced this podcast series. You might be used to Lilli Hahn as an interviewer. At the moment, she's busy with her university studies, so this is why I am jumping in. To my guest, most of you probably know the movie Queen of Cutwell, where the amazing story of an African girl, a chess girl, is narrated. My today's guest also has a great story to tell. She comes from Lilongwe, which is situated in Malawi, Africa. And that is why she has been called the Queen of Lilongwe. She holds an MBA degree from Indira Gandhi University in India. She's a chess player, of course, a trainer and arbiter. And most interesting, she's the president of the Chess Federation of Malawi, Africa. A warm welcome, Susan Namangale. How are you doing, Susan?
Hello, Michael. Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. A little bit nervous because it's my first interview in English, but I hope we will manage together.
I hope so too.
Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Before we jump into chess and into your background, do you mind telling us a little bit about Malawi as a country in terms of nature, culture, social situation, and so on?
All right, Michael. Yeah, so I'm proud to come from Malawi. Malawi is called the warm heart of Africa because it is a nice, warm, and friendly country, and it is very safe. I don't know if you know, but Malawi is landlocked, but it's got very fresh waters, and it's got the lake, which is the ninth largest lake in the world. We have the sunny beaches of the lake, which are very golden, and you would love to dive into the clear water. Malawi has a rich culture and has Lilongwe as its capital, which has a very relaxed, vibe, and you would love to visit Lilongwe one day. The people of Malawi are very, very, very friendly, and Malawi is one peaceful country and has never been in a civil war of any sort. So yeah, Malawi is a very beautiful country.
All right. So let's move on to your chess background. I read a little story that involves you spending your pocket money for school chess. Could you please tell us more about this story and how everything began for you, chess-wise?
Oh, great. I'm glad that you know that bit of a story. So that takes me back to over 20 years ago, like probably over 30 years ago. When I was a little girl, it was actually my sister that introduced me to chess. So one day she came from school while I was in the village and brought a chessboard. And so at that time, I didn't know how to play chess. She introduced me to how the pieces move. And then that's it. And then from there, I was now, selected to the high school. And at that high school, I was now, surprised to find that there was a chess club. And at that time, there were only 5 girls that were playing chess with one patron. And there was only one chessboard. And so that's the time when I said, we all have to play chess. At that time, we were 8 of us playing chess. And then I had my pocket money and I decided that I'll use it to buy 2 more chessboards. And that's how we started our chess club, and our chess club started growing, I think, from there. And that's how we became very competitive, at that level.
That's a nice story because, I mean, in life as well as in chess, you sometimes have to sacrifice something to bring society forward. And I think that's what motivates you as well. So let's jump ahead a few years. I already mentioned that you spent some time in India, which is a chess country, of course. They have Vishy Anand and also Hampi Konero as a world-class female player. Did you have any chance to experience chess during your stay in India?
Oh, by the way, I didn't stay in India during my studies. So my study was coordinated by the University of Malawi with the Indira Gandhi University. So
Ah,
we
okay.
did, yes. So it was a teleconferencing, and then the lecturers used to come at the university, and so that's how it was done. It was a Pan African. It was a Pan African initiative. And I'm looking forward to going to India during the Olympiad.
Yeah, that would have been my next question. So the Chess Olympiad will be held in India. Do you have plans to travel there with the Malawian national team?
Yes, of course. In fact, last weekend we've just done our selection for our team, and so we are ready right now. To be part of the Olympiad, to be part of the Olympiad world. So we're looking forward. As you know, with COVID, it's been all these years without players participating in a big event. And so all the players are looking forward, and we are hoping that we will be able to participate in the 44th World Olympiad.
Yeah, I hope so. But of course, you're not only a chess official, but a chess player yourself. And I heard that you are a 2019 national women's champion and that you participated in the national championship a few days ago. So, how is your chess going these days?
Well, my chess is it's actually not easy to play chess and then to administrate. In fact, what happened was I think over 12 years ago, when I got into the demands of family life and the demands of career, I decided that I would just be administrating, and so I stopped playing for a while, for almost 10 years. So until when I became president, I was not happy with the number of women, the number of girls that were playing chess. And for that reason, I decided that I would want to start playing again so that the girls and the women would get motivated when they see me as their president, also being part of the games. And so the 2019 National Championship was my first competition after 12 years. And surprisingly, I guess also because of the less females that were playing at that time, I became the champion. I was like, it was like a dream. And so from that, I actually saw the numbers going up, and it's amazing how many ladies right now play chess. And so even in the last national championship, I played. It's tough because I was the chief organizer of the event. At the same time, I had to play. So I did not qualify. I was for the Olympiad, but I'm happy that I've got new ladies, new girls that have been able to make it to the team, and they're going to be participating in the World Olympiad for the first time. And that's what I call growth, because it means we are progressing as a federation.
And what about online chess? I found a profile of yours on chess.com, but I think you haven't played for a while. Is that because Malawi has overcome COVID-19 pretty much and you are able to play over the board again? Or what is the reason?
Oh yes, we have been able to play over the board tournaments for a while, but also I normally use Chess, and I use the other platforms, and for the other tournaments we've been using Tonello. So I've not been on chess.com for a while.
Okay, but you're at home on any platform.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, one of the most interesting questions is probably how you became president of the Malawi Chess Federation. I heard you say in an interview that this wasn't presented to you on a silver plate. These were your words. So, you really had to fight for it, right?
Yes.
Can you tell the story a little bit?
Yes, it's an amazing story. And I always use this story to encourage women that want to take leadership positions, for them to know that it's not easy and they have to put up themselves. So when the time came that the former president for chess in Malawi was leaving the position, I decided that I will be part of the contestants for the position. So before that, I have been, a chairperson of a league in Malawi, and I had successfully, implemented programs, even sometimes more than the national federation. And so at this time, I was very confident that I would be able to provide the leadership that the federation needs. And so there were three of us contesting. There were some two males and myself, and we put up, a very competitive campaign. And so I know it was tough because sometimes, there were some feminine remarks in terms of, chess is a male dominated sport and we can't get a woman, to lead the sport. But I was happy that most of the men, that believed in me, because I had worked with them, they knew what sort of capability I had for me to be able to lead them. They gave me the vote, and I was able to put through, and that's how I won, and that's how I won the election. So it was great that it was still, because out of the people or the members that voted, most of them were still men. And this is exactly what I say, to the women that want to take up positions, to say you need the men. If you want to, progress, you need the support of the men, because the men need to understand that you are able to deliver. And once you present that and they believe that you can do it, the men will always support women that are willing to take up leadership positions.
That's an encouraging story and also excellent advice how to run such a campaign. And of course, we will talk more about female empowerment later, but first I would like to touch on some highlights during your time as the president of the Chess Federation. One of the highlights was probably the Chess Olympiad 2018 and in Batumi, Georgia. I saw a picture of you there on your Facebook timeline. So how was the experience with the team there?
Oh, wow. Batumi in Georgia was a great, great experience. I must say that was my first time as president to be at the Olympiad, and it was great. So for me, I think my main focus was about knowing people, because I heard so much about the FIDE management, and at that point, because it was also an elective year where FIDE was changing management, so it was in my interest to know everyone. And so I used the opportunity, to make sure that I develop, the necessary networks, know who are the, everyone that needs to, support me when I do my work in Malawi. And so it was a great experience. It was wonderful, and we had fun at the Olympiad in Batumi.
Another highlight of last year was that Malawi hosted the African Individual Chess Championship, and I believe it was for the first time. Was it successful, even with the COVID restrictions?
Yes, that was another great milestone that I'm so proud of. During COVID, last year, it was not easy. So, but I managed to get the approval of our government for us to go ahead and host the event. And so we had 17 countries compare, and 93 players that participated, in the Africa Individual Chess Championship. And for the first time, the number of women was amazing, because we had almost 34% of the participants were women, and that was really amazing. So everything went well. I think I got a lot of feedback from the players from all the, from the countries that participated, that this was the best ever African Individual Chess Championship that they've been to. And it was amazing for me to hear, such feedback. I hear it was great.
Positive feedback is always good to hear. Yeah, and of course we've got to mention the winners. It was Ahmed Adli from Egypt in the open section, and Jessie February from South Africa in the women's section. And Jessie is quite popular here in Germany, or maybe around the chess world, because she's a Twitch streamer. And I think she's doing an amazing work promoting chess, and in particular women's chess in South Africa. What do you think about her and what she's doing?
Yes, it was really amazing for Jessie to win the national champion, and it's always great that a new female would, get the woman grandmaster norm. So it was really great. I think Jessie is a great lady who is doing amazing things to promote chess in South Africa. And I hear so much about her as well. I had heard so much about her before the Africa Individual Chess Championship. I spoke to her on the phone, and it was great, to meet her in person. And I saw the level of her chess skill and how she was playing, and I was not surprised that she was the champion. And I keep wishing her well, and I know that she continues to inspire the girls, in South Africa, and because South Africa is one of the countries that's also doing well in terms of promoting, chess, especially amongst the girls and the.
Yeah, and we need these female players to promote chess and inspire more girls to play it.
Exactly.
Another interview of yours I read, which was taken in 2018. At that time, you were asked for your plans for the chess presidency of Malawi. And one thing you said was, I plan to ensure that chess is played in all schools in Malawi. So I know it's tough to get chess into schools because there is often a lack of chess teachers and sometimes also problems with money and funding. So how successful were you in bringing chess to schools in Malawi?
Yes, that was indeed one of my promises that I made, that we need chess to as many schools in Malawi. Why I said that was because, like, for me to learn chess, for me to be what I was because of school, because I learned chess in school. And so I thought every child needs to have the privilege of learning chess in school. And so I would say that this is going on very well. Of course, it's constrained because we need the support of our government as well for us to take, chess to schools. However, I think with the support that we've been having so far, support of FIDE and support of other partners, we have been able to, take chess to as many schools. And for us, we've even been going to rural areas, to hard to reach areas where, chess is now being played. So we have been training patrons in schools, putting them together and training them, and for them to be able to teach chess basics in school. I know the challenge comes when, most of the schools do not have the equipment in terms of chess boards. But we have also tried, to distribute chessboards to, to schools. Of course, the numbers are not like so much, but we keep trying, and so it's a great story to know that I think before 2018 we had less than less than 50 kids, playing in national, like, schools events. But right now, we can put together over 500 kids, playing chess. And we have like over 100 now schools and chess clubs in schools that are playing chess. And so we see that there is progress, but there's still, opportunity, and there's still potential that we can reach out to as many schools as possible. And right now, we continue engaging with our Ministry of Education, lobbying for them, to realize that chess is not just a game. It is a tool for education. And we are lobbying with our government, with our Ministry of Education, that they should consider using chess as a tool for education, and also, to change the mindset so that Malawi can develop, great leaders of tomorrow.
So the government knows about the positive impact of chess. I mean, like improving skills on concentration and so on. Do you have people in the government who believe in this, who know about this positive
Yes.
impact of chess?
Yes. So the positive impact of chess is none. In fact, I know a lot of you know some senior people in government that play chess, and they know the impact of having chess in school, having chess as part of education. And so even when we had the national chess championship, I had the Malawi National Sports Council chairman who represented government say that it would be great to have chess in schools because chess is actually not very expensive game. We government can afford to have chess in all the schools because all you need is a chessboard and chess pieces. Then someone is able to play chess. So they know, and also I think our efforts have been recognized in 2018 and 2019. We were awarded. So our chess in school programs was awarded, as the best sport in school program that we are doing. We're doing a lot in terms of taking sport, to the grassroots. And then I was also awarded as the best sports administrator, mainly because of the activities that we do incorporating, the children in schools and, training patrons in schools and all the other things that we've been doing as Malawi.
Wow, this sounds like a successful story. So, congratulations on that. But back to your presidency, this year is an election year for chess in Malawi. And I was really surprised to read that you decided not to contest for a second term as the head of the association. So, why is that?
Well, that's a difficult question, Michael. Yeah, but that's a decision that I thought. I think when I took over, when I took over as president, I think I made it clear at the beginning that my intention was to improve the way we do things, put up systems in place, and the things that I said I want to be part of the change. And so I think from there, I've got plans in terms of I want to focus mainly on development, so sport development, taking chess to the grassroots. I have my academy, my chess academy that I initiated. So I want to grow it, and I want to be using it to reach out, to some vulnerable children in the hard to reach areas. So I want to go to the juveniles, and the orphans, and then all the social projects that I want to do with my academy. But on top of that, I still plan to be in the chess administration because I'm planning to stand on the zonal. So the zone 4.5 is for 10 countries. So I have declared my interest already to contest at that level.
Ah, okay.
So I think that's how. So I will still be supporting the Malawi Federation in terms of providing the guidance, and I've been doing this even before, even with the previous president. I used to provide support for the running of the federation, and I will continue even when I'm not president. I will still continue providing the necessary support for the association to keep growing, and then also providing the support. If I manage to get the zonal presidency, I will be able to still continue in chess administration, but in another capacity.
Okay, but that's good to hear. So you will be around the chess world. So Susan, let's talk a little bit more about female empowerment and bringing more women into chess. First of all, let's have a look at the numbers. How big is the gender gap in Africa chess-wise? So how many percent of registered players or maybe titled players are female?
Yeah, so the gender gap is quite big. It's actually very wide. The overall participation rate for women continues to be low, and that's why we keep advocating, and that's why even this year is designated as the Women in Chess year. The reason being we have to do all these activities to try and reduce this gap. Um, So at all levels, we see that the numbers of women that participate could be in administration, could be in even in some technical positions like arbitration, and the numbers are quite small at all those levels. And also, for example, I think the whole of Africa, we only have, I think it's five women grandmasters. I'm sure we can do more in terms of those numbers. And only almost 20% of all the total registered players in Africa, only 20% are female. And so, even out of the 20% that are female, there's only 3% of the women that are titled. So, you can actually see that in terms of the numbers are quite small. And I know, even globally, I think in the whole world, in terms of participation of women in chess, the gender gap is quite big, and really we need to do something about it.
Hmm. So the question is, what can we do? What exactly can we do to encourage more girls and women to pursue chess and to run for these leadership positions? Do you have any concrete ideas for that?
Oh yes, so I think there's quite a number of things that we need to do. We need deliberate effort to promote girls. We need, because it needs to start at the grassroots. Because when we note that most girls drop off, they start very well playing chess, but at some point, because of the external factors, they drop off. And so we as chess leaders, we need to identify what are the reasons why the girls drop off and they don't continue. And then we need to now start working with them. So we need to start working on, programs like having, girls camps, making, having a number of, tournaments in countries or at zonal level or Africa level, targeting, girls and women. And so, in that way, if we actively engage the girls and the women, with all those activities, I'm sure that we will continue to have an increase in chess players, in lady chess players in Africa.
Hmm.
But the numbers right now are not good enough. But I think we're making progress. So even this year, I'm happy that FIDE designated this year to be the Women in Chess, the year of the Women in Chess. That's an amazing thing, and it's helping, bring together, girls, making them, know that they are very important in the chess world. And I think this is going to have an impact, because I see in every country, in most of the countries in Africa right now, there's a lot of activities, a lot of, girls playing chess, be it online, and some are playing over the board tournaments. And that's a great thing. I'm sure that with these kind of initiatives, and also with, role modeling, that the Women Commission is also trying to advance. Those are some of the, great initiatives that will allow, the numbers to go up and to increase.
Yeah, and I think what you said applies not only to Africa but to the whole chess world, because in my country, in Germany, only about 10% of the registered players of the Chess Federation are female. And recently I listened to another chess podcast, the 64 Chess Podcast, which is hosted by a chess player who lives in Denmark. And he said that in Denmark it's even less. So it's not only an issue in Africa, but all around the world. And yeah, there is no reason why this should be, in my opinion. So one problem that might occur sometimes, or does occur, is discrimination or even sexual harassment. Recently, there was a report of a female chess player who said that she was treated disrespectful at the tournament in Reykjavik. And yeah, these kinds of things do happen. What is your take on this? What is your advice for women like her?
Yeah, my advice to women on this is that once they they experience any form of discrimination or any form of, even sexual harassment incidents, they have to be bold enough, to report such incidences. I got to realize that some these incidences happen. There is some form of discrimination, some form of sexual harassment, but most of these remain unreported. And so I think we need to deliberately put up policies, and this is the sort of discussion that I would love FIDE also to take up, especially the Women Commission, to come up with a policy on sexual harassment and non-discrimination that all players around the world need to understand that this is not allowed. And so, but I would encourage all girls and all women to feel confident and to be bold, and that if they experience any form of discrimination or sexual harassment, that has to be reported, and it's totally unacceptable.
Yeah, I agree. And I do believe there is also a lot of, maybe unintentional discrimination, like disrespectful comments. For example, when people say, "How can you lose to a girl?" or "You were lucky that you won against me," and so on. So we really have to pay attention to what we say, I think.
Yeah, like for example, like I told you when I was campaigning for presidency, there were remarks like chess is not for women. How can a woman lead chess? So, but as women, we have to rise above that, above, that kind of discrimination, and just prove that this is wrong. And you still stand by your principles and you make it happen. And the good thing is it's not all men that discriminate. So there would be like just few, one or two that would do that. And it makes it look like it's all the men that do that. But no, so, and this can also be either way, because the way, discrimination or sexual harassment can be either way. But so, and that's why we need to educate, we need to encourage that, the chess community needs to know that these sort of things, these sort of behaviors are not acceptable in the chess world.
Yes, and if we are kind to girls and women and make chess a good place for women, they will come, and more of them will come, and not the other way around, I believe.
Exactly.
Okay, you have another role. I believe that you are also a member of the FIDE Commission for Women's Chess. Is that true?
Yes, it is true.
I know Eva Repkova, who is the chairman of the commission, and she told me that you are a very active member. And 2022 must be an important year for you, since FIDE has declared it the year of women in chess. So can you tell us a little bit more about the plans of FIDE and upcoming events? I know there is a festival going on. So what are the plans of the FIDE Women's Commission for this year?
Yeah. So it's actually great. It's great for me to be part of the Women Commission, and under the leadership of Eva. Eva is a great woman, and good that she's managing the commission so well. And I've been part of the planning team for the activities, especially the year of the woman in chess, and also to thank FIDE for accepting and providing a budget for the activities that are happening as a result of designating it for the year of the woman. This is very important. We've been talking about closing the gender gap, and I'm happy that the World Chess Body recognizes the importance of us, closing the gender gap and increasing the number of women, playing chess around the world. And so there's been a number of activities, including online tournaments that has been planned. We are going to have the Queen's Festival. We had the Queen's Festival also last year. It went well. So we are planning that we are going to even increase the number of ladies, the number of women that are going to participate in this year's, Queen's Festival, playing, an online tournament with all the women, across the world. And so also, I know at the Olympiad, we are going to have a special, pavilion where we are going to be showcasing, women activities and just encouraging, the girls and the women to be part of the activities and to, understand what is it that, FIDE Women Commission is planning in terms of, increasing the number of women playing chess or administrating or being part of the chess activities in the world. So it's great. I'm actually looking forward to be part of all the activities that are being planned going forward, for this year. And it will be great to see, the women and the girls, being interested and being motivated as a result of these activities.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Queen's Festival, and I just read that the registration for the Blitz tournament is open now, so everyone who wants to take part can register. And last year, you were chosen as the first speaker of the opening ceremony of the Queen's Festival, and I heard you talk about chess as a tool for education. I believe this was a great experience, even if it was an online event, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was. I was a little nervous because, yeah, but it was interesting, and it was the first time. It was the Queen's Festival, and there were a number of all these we called them side events, and I was glad that I was honored that I was requested to speak as one of the speakers at the beginning of the event. So it was great, and I think it went a long way to encourage the women. I think from that event, I've been being contacted by many girls and women around the world. And sometimes when I go to tournaments, some girls just wanna have a talk with me, and so we speak and encourage each other. Yeah, and so yeah, it's great. The numbers, I'm hoping, and I'm going to work hard. That way, we'll double the numbers, that we are going to participate in this year's Queen's Festival.
Oh, so doubling the numbers. So this is huge plans you have. Yeah, but I'll cross my fingers. Another important recent date was the International Women's Day on March 8th. And the United Nations had a motto for this day, which was break the bias, which basically means like we should overcome the prejudices against women. What was your role on that special day?
Well, I didn't have a special role, but I think for me as a woman, and for recognizing the importance of the day and the theme, breaking the bias, I made sure that I was part of the activities that had been planned to celebrate the International Women's Day and the theme that was put across. And so I had, in the month of March, I had participated in a number of activities, including, the Africa Union Sports Council International Women's Day conference seminar, which took place, and I was part of the participants for that. And also, I was honored because I was requested, to be a speaker at the celebrations for International Women's Day for Malawi. And I know the government, the Malawi Sports Council, did a short video of which I was also being featured in that video. So it was great to be part of that event, and it actually showed that even governments across the world are doing their part in terms of breaking the bias and just making sure that the women and the girls are part of sports in general, and in our case, they're part of the chess world, and the numbers should increase going forward.
All right. So the next topic I would like to touch is chess in Africa in general. So going beyond Malawi. And I've come across some names of some African chess personalities, and I wonder if you had any personal encounters. So first of all, in the introduction, I mentioned the Queen of Katwe. Of course, she's a real person named Fiona Mutesi from Uganda. And yeah, my question would be: have you ever met her? Have you got in touch with her?
Well, I've known Fiona I've spoken to Fiona virtually, but not face to face.
But you know about her story.
I know about her story very well, and she's a phenomenal girl from a very humble background. And we use her story to encourage the girls, in our chess communities, across Africa. That chess can be used as a tool to empower them and to transform their lives, and just the path that Fiona went through, that it's possible for every girl that's interested to be part of chess.
Yeah. Another personality I would like to ask you about is Tunde Onakoya from Nigeria. He's the founder of a project called Chess in Slums. Can you tell the listeners what this project is about, please?
Well, the Chess in Slums project in Nigeria is a great initiative, and it's also doing wonders. So, I mean, it's about going to slums where you have all these vulnerable children, and then they introduce chess clubs there. So they train the kids to play chess there, and we've seen that there's some children that have transformed, and they're now playing really good chess, and it's really improving lives. So it's really a great initiative that we can emulate in the other countries in Africa, because we have seen how this is going in Nigeria, and it's going on very well, and it's empowering vulnerable children, and it's improving lives. It's transformative, and so we need to bring it closer, home, and to other countries who are not having such initiatives.
Yeah, it's a great project. I also read about Garry Kasparov having a chess foundation in Africa, promoting chess in schools and doing projects in countries like Kenya and Zambia. Do you know if this foundation is still active? I couldn't get the information.
Yes, I've heard about Garry Kasparov Foundation. I think it was mainly active before I became president. I've heard about it. I know it's. I think there's some countries in Africa that are that um, have benefited from the foundation, and it's especially for chess in schools, and the foundation has been providing equipment for schools and start clubs in schools. And yeah, so I've heard about it, and I know it's contributed a lot to chess development in Africa. But I can't say much about it because I've not been involved personally, because I think mainly, probably in Malawi, it was before I became president, and I don't know much about it.
Okay. So, when are we going to have an African world champion?
Well, I think so. It's possible. All I can say is that it's possible. It's possible to have an African champion, but there is need a lot of work that needs to be done. So we need a lot of trainings. We need a lot of tournaments, especially at a higher level, in terms of getting the Africans to participate in the world championships. And I'm glad that even the FIDE president is able to provide, wild cards to some African players to be part of the, big events, because that's how they get exposed. Because it's through being exposed in those big tournaments that we can one day, achieve a champion. I know in the World Cup, our players in Africa, like, Busse, they did very well. Did very well. So we still had, participation in there, and our players did well, and they still have potential to do well. And we're just hoping that one day we will have an Africa champion.
And did you know that in the game of checkers, or English drafts, as it is called in some areas, the world champion comes from South Africa? So it is possible.
It is possible. Yes, thank you.
So, Susan, we didn't touch on your other positions, like being a chess trainer and being a chess arbiter. Could you tell us a little bit more about what you are doing and what motivated you to become an arbiter?
Well, what motivated me to become an arbiter is to, there was actually only one female arbiter, in Malawi before that. But also when I became president, I decided because I need to be on top of almost everything, know what happens even in arbitration and all that. And so I've been providing support. We've got an international arbiter in Malawi and some FIDE arbiters. So I as an NA, as a national arbiter, I provide the support. So I actually multitask because I'm normally a chief organizer of events. At the same time, I play the a support with the arbitration, with arbitration, and then if there's training, then I jump in and also support with the training with the training bit. So I think all those work together, if we are to ensure that we are making progress in all those aspects.
You mentioned multitasking, and I think you're truly a role model for all girls and women in Africa and around the world. Very inspiring. But is there anyone who inspired you or whom you admire? Maybe a chess player or even outside the chess world? Do you have any idols?
Yes, so in the chess world, I'd been admiring Susan. I don't know, not because she's my namesake, but Susan Poja was my really, model. So I used to read a lot about her, and I used to sometimes just look at her games.
Why not Judith Polgar? Why Susan?
I just feel, I don't know, I just liked Susan.
It must be the name. Come on.
Maybe it's the name. Yeah, maybe it's the name. So probably she doesn't know that, but truly she inspires me. And there's also quite a number of women, that inspire me a lot, and they make me what I am, and always looking up to them.
Maybe we will have one of the Polgar sisters on this podcast. I hope so. So this would be great. Susan, I am almost at the end of my question list. So, is there anything we missed or that you think we will still have to talk about?
I think you touched on all the important things, Michael. I don't think there's anything. Maybe, or maybe the challenge. Did we talk about any challenges that women face?
Yeah, a little bit, but if you want to make it a little bit more concrete, so just go ahead. So you mean the challenges of women in general or female chess players?
Female chess players.
So yeah, what
Yeah.
are the? So let me ask, what are the challenges?
Yeah, so female chess players face lots of challenges, and that, like I said before, that even girls sometimes they just drop out of chess and they start very well, and then you find them quit playing chess, and mostly we probably don't even go back to find out why the girls quit playing chess. But I realize there's lots of social challenges, like when they start families or marriage, some when they just start family, then they quit playing chess. Some girls even are subjected to child marriages, and that affects them and they quit playing chess. Sometimes it's all these cultural issues that in some cultures girls are not supposed to get close to men, and then as they grow it becomes a big thing and they also just quit. And also sometimes it's just about career, probably there's some careers that are so demanding that the women or the girls probably do not find much time for them to continue with chess, and then they just quit. And so I think as part of our year of the women in chess activities, we need to get deeper and just probably do a real survey on our chess players around the world who have quit chess, and how we can bring them back on if that's possible. because probably some just need encouragement, in terms of, that you can still, like I said, that I had stopped playing chess for 12 years, but it's not that I stopped being part of the chess community. So I was still continuing doing other things. I couldn't play in tournaments, but I could still support with administration and doing other things for chess. So probably that's the space that we need to get, us as the leaders for chess, especially to encourage the women and girls that they should not quit completely. If probably one side is challenging, they can try to still be part of the chess community by adding value in whatever way that they can. So sometimes there's also just limited commitment by federations, to just push the women chess agenda. I know in some federations where, you completely don't have females coming to participate in tournaments. So, we need to be encouraging those federations as well, so they can motivate and include women um, in chess activities. And I know in some federations it's actually very frustrating for women because even the prize structure is ridiculous. So you find the difference between the prizes for the open section and the women, it's ridiculous. So, and then the women just probably don't find a real reason for them to be able to participate in chess activities or tournaments.
Yeah, so things like equal prize money, or
Yes,
I also read about childcare during chess tournaments.
chess tournaments, yeah,
So these are concrete ideas what federations can do.
exactly.
Yeah. And I asked you about advice for women earlier in this interview. What advice would you give us men if we feel like a girl or women is not being treated equally? What can we do to help women feel welcome in the chess world?
Yeah. So for me, really, I believe the men and the boys, they play a big role to encourage the women or the girls. Because it has to be inclusive. So if the men, we know that chess is male dominated, so it's the men or the boys that need to incorporate, making sure that the girls or the women feel comfortable for them to be part of the chess world. So the men need to, avoid, like we've talked before, the discriminatory, statements that could, make girls or women, not to feel comfortable. So by deliberately, preventing that, that's also a way of making, chess to be inclusive. And also, even the main, or the trainers going deliberately. There are some schools that specifically for girls. Men can even go there and support, and have talks and um, talk about the importance, the impact of chess and what chess can do. But even using examples like this of Fiona Mutesi, and I know there's quite a lot of men in Africa that are doing a really good job. Like, for example, this same example of Fiona, it was, I know, it's there's a guy called Robert in Uganda, Robert Katende, who's played a big role in actually transforming, in this story about Fiona. So you could see that it's the man who drove that agenda. And so, if we are talking about women empowerment, if we want to increase the number of women, if we want to have more girls, we should not leave the boys behind. We should not leave the men behind. We need to involve the men in all the activities that we do in order to empower. And I'm so happy that it's you, Michael, doing this interview, because that's part of your being part of the women activities, and so that's a great thing.
That is well said, all, and I think what you said is inspiring for many, not only for girls and women, but also for us men. I think the love for chess connects us all, female or male or whatever genders we have. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing. So Susan, last thing I want to say is thank you very much. You have an inspiring story, and you bring chess forward, and you taught us that women need to stand up and take up the challenge, and also that men have an important role in female empowerment. And I think it was an interesting interview. I hope it was some fun for you. So thank you. And are you going to play a game of chess tonight, or is it the end of your chess day now?
It's actually not the end of my chess day. I actually have a meeting, has just started now. I'll be joining in. It's the annual extraordinary general meeting for the Africa Chess Confederation, of which I'm supposed to be part. So from here, I'll jump into that meeting for the next hour.
That says all about your love for chess. So thank you again, Susan. And I wish you all success, and have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you, Michael.
The FIDE Commission for Women's Chess in cooperation with Chess24 seeks your donations to help our Ukrainian chess players and their families affected by the ongoing war in Ukraine. If you want to donate, please find the link in the description below or on the FIDE webpage.